How important do you think the story of Satoshi is to Bitcoin, the mythology, so to speak? And I'm going to tie this in with fiat money. I think the symbolism in fiat money, it's very important as well. There is a freaking pyramid with an eye on the back of fiat money, so clearly
Mm-hmm.
symbolism in general is important in money. Um, how important is the story of Satoshi? How important was it, Tomer, that Satoshi stepped away when he did?
Oh yeah. So two pieces. So first of all, the story of Satoshi is fundamental to Bitcoin because if the story of Satoshi had been, if almost any single part of it had been any different, I think Bitcoin would be fundamentally different and would be compromised in certain ways. I think the fact that it was such a hard invention to come up with, and in fact, the invention solved a problem that had been proven by mathematicians and computer scientists to be impossible to solve in theory. Right? But Satoshi comes up with this practical solution to the Byzantine generals problem or the double spend problem that works in practice, even though in theory you can't come up with a solution. And he does so, and he presents it, and we don't know who Satoshi is, right? In advance of releasing this creation, having come up with this incredible invention that also disproved the common wisdom of everybody else, he put his ego on the back end because it wasn't Satoshi Nakamoto that invented Bitcoin. That was just a pseudonym that whoever did invent Bitcoin used. There is no Satoshi Nakamoto. There's a mask, right? It's a disguise. It's like a superhero costume that is Satoshi Nakamoto. And so this person, whoever it was, knew that they had to do this in a way that preserved their anonymity, just like the superheroes in the comic books, right? We can't know, the people in the universe of Superman can't know that he's Clark Kent. The people in the universe of Spider-Man can't know that he's Peter Parker because it'll screw everything up. And he needs to be the mythological figure. And that's what Satoshi knew in advance. He did it to protect himself and to be able to release and free the invention from the inventor. Right? When Satoshi disappeared, the invention is left to live on its own. And that is a really, really fundamentally crucial element. And it can only happen if we never knew who the inventor was. Like if Vitalik Buterin now says, well, I'm leaving the project, it's still everybody's going to say, well, what do we do about this? What do we do about that? He can't leave. He's forever the inventor. And nobody knows who the inventor of Bitcoin is, right? We have this name, Satoshi Nakamoto, but we don't have a person to attach it to. There's no face, there's no voice, there's just a handful of textual writings, like the white paper, which I have behind me, and with such it's like such a sacred document that I blew it up and made it as big as I could. There, so this whole story of Satoshi is so fundamental to the creation of Bitcoin that here is this genius who solves a problem, but doesn't flout it. It doesn't flout his identity. Doesn't use his discovery to gain anything for himself. He doesn't use it to become a powerful man on the world stage. He doesn't use it to become a rich man. He doesn't use it to become a famous man. Right? He has zero fame. He has zero wealth. He has zero power. So he surrenders all of it, and he basically makes Bitcoin a gift to the human race. And that is a really extraordinary thing. He didn't do an IPO to get rich, right? Or ICO to get rich. He didn't pre-mine a bunch of coins and sell them for money to venture capitalists. He came up with an invention. He took no credit for it as whoever he was, and he gave it as a gift to the world, and he tended to it until it was mature enough that he could leave it. And then he didn't stick around. He had the courage or the generosity to actually leave and disappear. And so it's really, really extraordinary. It's what makes Bitcoin Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin isn't Bitcoin if there's a leader who we know who they are and they got rich and they're famous and they're powerful and they're pulling all the strings of Bitcoin. The beauty of Bitcoin is it exists independent of the control of any human being on earth, including its creator.